Welcome back to Highly Effective Presentations for Every Leader. In video 101, we started by looking at the necessary preparations to enable professional presentations. In video 102, we followed with a detailed review of the critical considerations for that opening stanza of your presentation. And now you've reached video 103 in this four-part series, where we discuss how to enable better knowledge retention and the likelihood of behavioural change based around the presenter's ability to keep the new information in bite-sized nuggets or parcels. We call them chunks, which are well structured and with a clear link from one chunk to the next. Before starting off on this new material, however, let's go back and briefly summarise the three key considerations from the previous video 102, what leaders need to achieve initial buy-in. We highlighted the fact that first impressions are lasting, and therefore our number one consideration begins with the moment you step up in front of the audience and before opening your mouth. Approach the stadium, pause in silence, scan the room, raise your eyebrow, pause again, and then smile. Then we move to those opening comments. Look at how your opening can be more powerful, naturally connected to the subject and hooking that audience. And then finally, we suggest you engage through a story, but important to become effective at delivering stories. Understand the difference between a telling me and a showing me story through descriptive, well thought through and emotive storyline. In this video 103, leaders that chunk, link, recall and review win. We will cover 5 specific considerations. First is the art of chunking and linking. Second, body language to enhance the message. And number 3, using voice to enhance the message. Number 4, recall through activities. And finally, number 5, revisit and review. Are you ready? Then let's start. Consideration number 1, the art of chunking and linking. Adults digest information best when it's broken into small parcels of sequential data in a logical, structured way. Start by raising the audience's interest in a new topic. Use your visual tools to outline something memorable and perhaps even abstract to get their attention. See whether the participants are able to determine what you are showing or illustrating. A word of warning, however, is that it must be related or connected to the topic you're introducing. Chunk the topic info by spending no more than 15 to 20 minutes discussing the topic items. This time frame allows people to remain focused and able to digest the new information. Anything longer, and studies have shown that the human absorption rate drops off quite sharply. Link the topic items and the subsequent topics so that there is a clear structure between the points. Where possible, find ways to link the information to the audience's workplace. This will help with the participant centeredness. Consideration number 2, using body language to enhance the message. Focus on your facial expression, hand gestures and body movement to greatly enhance engagement with the audience. Leverage your face to highlight key points. People engage best when the presenter uses the upper half of their face, i.e. their eyes and forehead, rather than only their mouth. Eye contact is essential with each participant, but make your scanning natural rather than acting like a continuous radar. Hand gestures are powerful when used as an invite, an extended arm and open palm to the audience, and equally so when wanting to reinforce a point by making the steeple hands to question or reflect. Avoid hiding your hands behind your back and in your pocket. This appears as if you have something to hide. Walking towards the audience helps emphasize importance of a point. And just as moving backwards brings closure to that discussion. Avoid rocking in one place or prowling around the floor of the stage. As a guide, move, then pause, make your point, and then move again. Consideration number 3, using voice to enhance the message. Just as your body language conveys a visual message, your voice conveys the verbal and vocal message. Terms such as timbre, register, prosody, pace, pitch and volume are as much key attributes for presenters as they are for singers. Your ability to control and utilize your voice to emphasize a point is a critical tool and should be practiced. At all costs, avoid the monotone dialogue. Utilize the pause and silence methods to create effect and to place emphasis on key points. An interesting practice is to use the pause and get the audience to complete sentences for you to create engagement. Brian Tracy, one of the business success gurus, illustrates this nicely on one of his many presentations of TED Talks. A final suggestion here is to make the microphone your best friend, but don't make love to the microphone. If you have a large gathering, use the microphone to ensure your voice carries. Practice using the microphone in advance so that you're aware of how it sounds. However, avoid playing with it or making it a distraction during your presentation. Consideration number 4, recall through activities. Active learning is a powerful tool, and research confirms that it's the best way to help adults remember, i.e. learning through experience. Plan short activities to reinforce the topic's theory. No more than 5 to 10 minutes is required after each topic, but this depends on the type of workshop you're presenting, of course. Additionally, incorporate simple reinforcement exercises through discussion, questions, brainstorming, etc., which will help participants digest and recall. Make sure your activities relate to the topic and enable the audience to easily link the theory to the experience. A good practice is to ask the audience to visualize how they could use this knowledge or skill at a later stage back in the workplace. By doing this, you transfer the learning and the experience across to the implementation, which forms a very powerful and lasting connection. Consideration number 5, revisit and review. If this part is utilised correctly, it will deepen the learning retention and increase potential for behaviour change. There are 3 main stages to your presentation: the opening, the body, and the close. At the open, you tell them what you're going to tell them. During the body, you tell them what you need to tell them. And on closing, you tell them again what you've already told them. Studies show that it's necessary to revise each topic 6 to 7 times to maximise the potential for later recall. And each way should be a little bit different from the previous. This can be achieved informally through simple discussion, question and answer, summarising, even with hands-on activities. Or it can be done through a more formal process where participants are asked to complete a written test. Whichever combination you choose, seek out as many opportunities as possible to repeatedly review the topic you've introduced. One effective way, which we've already mentioned earlier, is to conclude the topic with an example and illustrate that example via a show me story. We've covered a lot of territory in this video, so let's recap and summarise the 5 key considerations. Remember that during the body of any presentation, we touch on many of the 7 concepts of memory retention. Here we've covered 5. Number 1, the art of chunking and linking. Adults digest information best when it's broken into small parcels. Number 2, use body language to enhance the message, focusing on your facial expression, hand gestures and body movement. Number 3, use voice to enhance the message. Just as body language conveys a visual message, your voice conveys the verbal and vocal message. Number 4, recall through activities. Active learning is a powerful mechanism for assisting adults to lock in that message. And finally, number 5, revisit and review. This will deepen the learning retention and create potential for behaviour change. Thank you for watching this 3rd video. Leaders that chunk, link, recall and review win. From our series Highly Effective Presentations for Every Leader. One video remaining in this series called Leaders Need to Learn How to Close. Looking forward to seeing you then.